Hi, and welcome to the walkthrough of your Squarespace website. One of the main benefits of a Squarespace website is that it is a simple and approachable platform that anybody can use to manage all aspects of their website. Jumping right into it, we've logged into our account here, which brings us to our dashboard, where we can click into our website. Here on the left, we have all kinds of different tools and settings, but we're going to go ahead and click into Pages to start looking at the pages of our site, which is split between Main Navigation, which we can see in our navigation on the right here, and then Not Linked, which is all of our other pages. We also have some other important buttons in the top right here, including the Preview, which lets us see our site how a visitor would, our Mobile View button, which allows us to see it how folks would see it on their phones, and finally, we have the Site Styles button, which allows us to change important overarching parts of our websites, like the fonts, the colors, and the styles of the buttons and things like that. Site styles are ultimately a large subject that I'll get into a bit more later, but for now, let's take a look at the basics of editing our pages. I'll start by selecting the page I want to edit and then hitting the Edit button there. All content on a Squarespace website is contained in blocks, and those blocks are organized on a grid, which you can see as I start to drag around my text block here. Each of these blocks will usually have their own settings. For example, the text block here will basically have word processor settings that allow you to change things like the font and the color, while something like an image block will give you the option to replace the image or make small edits to it. The next organizational level above blocks is going to be our sections, the settings for which can be reached in the top right of each section. In those settings, we can adjust things like the spacing and padding of the section, we can add a background image, or we can apply one of our color themes to the section. You'll find an Add Section button at the bottom or top of the section you're working on currently, where you can either start from a blank template and add your new elements one by one, or you can choose one of Squarespace's pre-made templates that often fills a specific purpose. For really simple additions, like just adding a little bit of text or an image, often a blank section is the most efficient way to go, but these pre-made sections are definitely worth exploring as they can cut down on a lot of the tedium of putting together a more complicated page, or they can provide some inspiration if you're not sure how to proceed. Each page will also have a header and a footer, which are basically special sections that are the same across each of your pages. If you go into your editor and hover over the top of any of your pages, you'll find the Edit Site Header button. From here, you can do things like add or remove elements, including social media links or special buttons, and you can adjust the design of the header, changing things like the orientation of the various elements as well as the header's color theme. At the bottom of the page, you'll find the footer, which is edited more like a normal section with the grid system, but is similar to the header in that it's the same on every page. When you make changes you want to keep, it's always important to hit the save button, but since I didn't here, I will exit without saving. Next, let's take a closer look at editing our site styles. To begin with, we'll go to our site style button we talked about in the top right here. You can either change the whole style all at once with one of Squarespace's pre-made themes, or you can adjust the pieces one by one. For example, we have tons of options here just for our fonts. We can go in and adjust the overall size, we can change the font itself, or we can go in and do even more precise adjustments, like specific sizes of specific types of text. Here in the color settings, we can change both our color palette as well as the way that the colors in our palette are combined into our color themes. Like a lot of things we've looked at, there are color presets that you can choose from, or you can use this slider if you want to adjust your colors manually and see the change in real time. And then once we've chosen our colors, we can look at our themes. Each theme will assign a specific color to all of your different elements, like buttons or different types of text. There's a huge amount of different elements that make up your theme, so the easiest way to do it is to click on the page that you would like to change, and it'll bring up all of the relevant elements. Once you've found the element you want to change, all you have to do is select a new color. It's usually a good idea to choose one from your palette, but you can use a custom color for any element. Those are the most important aspect of your site style, but there are also options for changing the way your buttons look, changing the way your forms, like your contact forms look, and other site-wide options like your site margins. As you can see, site styles are pretty powerful for making big changes to your website, but with that power, you do want to be careful to avoid any unintended consequences. Next, let's take a look at adding new pages to our site. If we go back to our menu that has all our pages listed on the left, we'll just need to click one of these plus icons and we'll get a new menu. Like with sections, we can either start from scratch or choose one of the many pre-made templates from Squarespace. There's even special types of pages like blogs, shops, and membership pages. Once you choose the option that works best for you, you'll just need to give it a name, and you now have a new page that you can go in and fine-tune to your needs. Each page also has its own settings menu, which you can find with the gear icon to the right of the respective page. Here you'll find settings to change things like the name of your page and your navigation, the URL slug for the page address, and other advanced options like the SEO, how the page will look to search engines, and even inputting special code. If you want to change your new page's place in the navigation, all you have to do is drag it around. The last page on the list will be the last one in the navigation, or if you don't want it in the navigation at all, you just have to drag it into the not linked section. That covers the basics of editing the content on your site, but before we finish up, I do want to go over some of the general settings for the website. If we use the button in the top right to return to the home menu of our website, we'll find a bunch of useful tools like our product pages, our marketing outreach, and analytics about folks who are visiting our website. To access the general settings for your site, you'll just need to click this gear icon here in the bottom right of the menu. You'll find all kinds of settings here, like your site availability, your site favicon, or the way that your site is seen when shared on social media. It's also where you can manage things like your site domain and your site permissions. And that covers the basics of what you need to know to start managing your new Squarespace website. We hope you found this video useful. Definitely reach out to us down in the comments or at the email in our profile if you do end up having questions. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.